James and Gordon were resting in the Knapford yards. Sir Topham Hatt gave them a warning. "You see this truck with the tarp on it?" Sir Topham pointed towards the aforementioned wagon. "This truck has paint which is not to be tampered with. If any of you ever tamper the truck, I will send you to the sheds and stay there for the rest of the week." As Sir Topham Hatt walked away, James had a plan. "I'm guessing this is my splendid red paint, so I can be the pride of the whole railway," he boasted. Gordon felt otherwise. "Our controller tells us not to mess around with the truck. Doing so can lead to consequences." "Pa," puffed James. "He wouldn't dare. I'd just give it a quick look at it and then put it back exactly where it was, like nothing ever happened." Gordon didn't want to be like James, prone to getting into trouble, so he suggested a plan. "Tell you what, since you want to look at the truck of paint really badly, I'll let you take my goods train that's planned in 2 days." James didn't like to carry goods trains that often, so James agreed. A few moments later, James came back. "See," James smiled. "I was careful and put it back like it was before." Gordon noticed a spot of paint on James' footplate. "You missed a spot." James looked at his footplate and gasped. James lost his breath and wheezed.
"I bet you recognize the spot."
"He's gonna notice it. Then I'll make a lay, huh?" James whined. "I'll pretend that's water. Water isn't really blue." Sir Topham Hatt walked towards the engines. He wasn't very happy. "Someone has tampered the truck of paint. Did any of you two have something over this?" "No, sir." "Then what's that on your footplate, James?" Sir Topham spotted the paint splat. "That's just food colouring." James lied. "Really? You come with me." There was the truck, and the top wasn't closed all the way. Gordon was surprised and whispered to James, "You said you had it like it was before." "I did." "Why is the top side open?" "It must have been the wind, sir. It probably wasn't secured properly as the wind took it off." Sir Topham Hatt investigated deeper. "And why is the paint can lid loose?" "It probably rattled along the line, causing it to make it loose." Gordon didn't agree, for James nice. Sir Topham Hatt gave up. "I guess I won't find out what the blue paint is for." "It's cerulean paint, not blue, sir," James answered. "Then it was you." He frantically turned towards James sharply. "But James stuttered. "Don't give me that rubbish," Sir Topham interrupted. "Go to your shed immediately, James." James, still stuttering, weakly chuffed towards Timothy's sheds. As he entered his berth, he whined, "Oh dear, why did I go out to see what the paint is? Why did I not follow my controller's orders? Why did I fall for Gordon's trick? I'm a silly, disgraceful engine." Suddenly, Miss puffed onto the turntable. "Hello, James." Greeted to Miss. "Sir Topham Hatt wants you to take the passengers." This made James happy in an instant. "Me take passengers?" When James already rolled out of his berth, he was caught by Sir Topham Hatt. "What are you doing out of your shed, James?" asked. "To Miss, you get to take the passengers." "Thank you, sir." To Miss cheekily chuffed away. "What's going on?" James questioned, being confused. "Excuse my mistake, James. I mean to Miss to do your work for the week since you're grounded. But, sir, silence. Rivers into your shed. I will lock your doors and put some buffers in front. No complaints." James did so. The bodyguards put buffers on. Then they locked the doors. James felt ashamed. "This is going to be the worst week of my life." Later that evening, Gordon rolled next to James. Luckily, he didn't even laugh or made fun of James. "Looks like cruel and unusual punishment for you." "Please, Gordon, get me out of this situation," James begged. "Sorry, I can't do anything for this." Gordon refused. "But your goods train." Then James started to plead. "Tell Sir Topham Hatt that you made me end up like this. Then I'll let you do my work. Or even better, we can call it a truce." Gordon didn't say anything. What he did was just leaving the sheds. He secretly did listen to James, so he went off to tell Sir Topham Hatt. "Sir, I got something to say to you." "What is it?" James wanted to see what was in the truck with the top on it, so I asked him to tamper it if he puts it back where it was before so he can take my goods train planned in 2 days. He made a deal, but not how it went. So you told James to tamper with the truck and involved in this situation too? Yes, sir. Take me to Tidmouthshires at once, the controller ordered. As Gordon came back with Sir Topham Hatt aboard, he spoke to both Gordon and James. I do not allow any engine to be tricked by my orders. If I ask you to stay away from something, don't do it even if you try to make a deal and put someone else to blame. Am I clear? Clear. I will transfer you guys to the works next to it, and you will stay there for the end of the week. Gordon James felt miserable after what happened today. Thank you for conforming with me and being on my side. And I'm sorry if you tampered with the paint and made you do it. Should we film ourselves a truss? Gordon then agreed. Other than that, I'm sure what's going to happen with James Gordon from now on. Won't you?